let's indeed get a wider view now, a nationwide perspective. We have heard from the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Sanwo-Olu. Let's speak to the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Hanire, who is in our Abuja studio, where today we understand that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, says it has activated all contingency plans and for public health events in aviation. Let's get an update from you, Honorable Minister. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Give us the spread level update. We understand that situation and incidents in Plateau and Ogun State. What more do we know now, Minister?
Well, what we know is largely what His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, has already related. There is one confirmed case, and it is an Italian consultant who came in from Milan to carry out some activities in Ogun State, and there is no other confirmed case. There are other cases that have been and are being investigated. All have been negative so far. In Jos, we understand that there are some miners there who took ill, and they are foreign people, and they were immediately put under isolation and are supposed to be tested for coronavirus.
Honorable Minister, give us a sense, because from what we've seen your effort, how fast you came out when this case happened in the middle of the night. We saw how your office and that of the NCDC came out, and the Lagos Governor's office and the Minister of Health office. Everybody came together in solidarity and ensuring that Nigerians are given the kind of information they need, which a lot of people say kudos. Let's begin by understanding how ready or prepared Nigeria is. Is it only in Lagos that we have this kind of facility that is capable of testing and also taking care of any case that is tested positive?
Well, it's important to explain, first of all, that we are talking about a disease importation. This is not a disease that is found everywhere in this country. It broke out in China, in the town of Wuhan, a province of Hubei. That's where most of the cases have been found so far. And it is from there that it has spread to other parts of the world. Because of that incident, there are people who have fixed their minds on thinking that it is probably going to come into this country via Chinese, and that is not necessarily the case. We are not pursuing profiling or stigmatization. The country is very well prepared. We started preparing right from the time this news came out. On the 31st of January, we had an interministerial and multi-sectoral meeting in Abuja that brought together NCDC, Port Health Services, and the services that are related with entry into the country, immigration, customs, port, Nigeria Port Authority, etc., etc. We had a meeting in which we tried to work out our strategy and our approach. So what has happened in Lagos now is like a test run, which has gone very well. We have worked out all the scenarios. Now, with regard to the coronavirus, the putative channel of entry into this country is through the airport, through air travel. So we have focused largely on our international airports, the 5 airports we have, of which 4 are functional at the moment. The possibility of importation by sea is remote, but we are not taking our eyes away from there. The Port Health Authority are also with us in our conversations. And land border is also remote, but again, we're not taking our eyes off the ball there. So looking at the possibility of importation, people bringing this disease in, as happened in the case of Ebola, it is one man who came in with that disease and it spread. Again, in this case, it is one man who came in from, not from China this time, as it happened, it's from Italy, and came into the country, and we are pursuing it with a very robust mechanism. The entire system has worked very well. Less than 48 hours from presentation, we had the diagnosis ready. The Lagos team was very prepared, and the collaboration between the states, the states involved now, let me say, are the states that host our international airports. I'm talking about Lagos State, the Federal Capital Territory, Kano State, Enugu State, and River State, where we have our international airports. Those are the states we are working with very closely with their public health departments. And the front line here in this fight is the Port Health Services. They are the first to see passengers coming in, and they do a scanning, a thermal scanning, to find out who has fever. But because we know that there are people who can have this ailment and do not have a temperature, we also take their travel history. Every traveler entering Nigeria now will fill a form where he tells us which country he has visited within the last 21 days. We do extend it, and they are interviewed on the basis of that in order to try and find out the likelihood or the possibility of them being carriers of this virus.
So, in essence, what the facility that we have in Lagos, for example, is replicated in Rivers, Enugu, Abuja, and Kano State. Is that what you're saying, Minister?
First of all, the facility in Lagos serves the region with possibility of those who come in through Lagos Airport. You know that Lagos carries a by far larger volume of air traffic passengers than all the other airports. Now in Abuja, we have a similar facility at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, where we have an isolation facility, and also in Kano, we have one working with the state government. So these ones, all these facilities are collaboration between the federal and the state governments. And they are being prepared or are prepared for receiving cases that pop up unexpectedly from travelers.
Honorable Minister, give us a sense of what happened. Was it a breakdown of protocol when the Senate, Senator Boroface on the floor of the Senate said he was not quite happy with what he saw when he came back into the country as regarding the testing and all of that? Was there any kind of breakdown of protocol? Have you reinstated the protocol of testing people properly?
Well, there are people who do not know that they are being tested because we have remote cameras that are taking your temperature as you pass by. So a lot of people think they have just walked by and nothing happened. In reality, there's someone monitoring the screen and watching you as you walk by. And if you have a temperature, you are politely invited to step aside. I'm sure the senator didn't have a temperature, so he was not invited to step aside. But the machines work exactly that way. And then you submit a form. The form gives your travel history. So because there are other countries where they use what they call a pistol thermometer that is pointed at your forehead. And people will see that and say, oh, yes, they have tested me. But this other is a remote camera that takes your temperature. It's pointed at you. You might not even know that you have been recorded. So there was no breakdown of protocol. It's working. It's working quite well. And the results, we also have reports where these processes have been praised by travelers who have entered Nigeria and even compared it to what they found in Heathrow or any other country outside of Nigeria.
Don't forget that there are some emergency numbers. Should you have any concern regarding the coronavirus, there is a coronavirus alert and emergency numbers that you can call right here on your screen. 0033565529, 00231698485, and 0052152817243. Those are the Lagos emergency numbers. Of course, we've been speaking, we spoke earlier with the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and now we're getting a wider perspective on the nationwide update on the situation as regarding coronavirus. A disease that shut down some economies, a disease that has also scared governments across the world in terms of how it has jumped on them and their people. In some parts of the world, we understand that thousands of infections, people have been infected, and hundreds of deaths have been recorded globally. In the United States, we understand that another incident has happened very close to New York, and also 2 deaths, of course, recorded in the United States. In Nigeria, we have only one case, which of course we understand that as we speak, that in Lagos is being treated, and we understand that the patient is recovering. From what you can see on your screen, those states in yellow are those where we have situation where people are quarantined and investigation and tracing is ongoing. Of course, the confirmed case in Lagos State. Let's go back to our Abuja studio where the Honorable Minister for Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, has been giving us insight into what we need to do, what we need to know. It is a public enlightenment program tonight. We're giving you all you need to know to stay safe and alive. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for talking to us tonight. So give us a sense and an update on what is needed. First and foremost, we want to understand what the federal government is doing. Is there a possibility of declaration of emergency on this situation, and perhaps a disclosure of the details of the Italian man, more than the age, and probably what more do we need to know about him?
Well, in the first place, medical ethics do not allow us or doctors to disclose facts about a patient without his consent. So we only just tell you what you need to know, and we're not going to give more than those details. The federal government is doing a lot. As I said, we started preparing this for this situation right from the time it became public, and we have had lots of meetings. We had, as I mentioned before, an interministerial meeting, which we are going to have tomorrow to do a situation review where the ministries of health, internal affairs, foreign affairs, and so on will come together with immigration, customs, and ports authority, and so on, to put together a strategy of responding. As I said, this is a cross-border infection, and we are trying to stop it at the border. And the one that has come in, we are trying to trace all possible contacts and find out if or how it has spread so that it is contained. We are in the phase of trying to carry out a containment so that, if possible, it does not go beyond the one index case who has entered the country. He himself was, of course, not in the knowledge of what he had, that he was carrying any particular kind of illness, and we're happy that he's responding. It does seem as if his own illness is running rather mildly, the way it looks. And his viral load, as I'm told, has begun to drop, which means that it's on the way to recovery.
But, Honorable Minister, tell us, we saw a strong move by the United States government, giving travel restrictions to 3 countries, Italy, Iran, and South Korea. From what we have today, there are concerns as to flights coming from some of these countries where these cases are rampant. Is the federal government of Nigeria thinking of any kind of restriction or any policy that will endanger the lives of Nigerians, especially because of those who are traveling and perhaps who are within the incubation period of the 14 days?
Well, about 2-3 weeks ago, we gave a travel advisory and advised all Nigerians not to go to any high-burden country unless it is absolutely necessary, to postpone or delay any non-essential travel. That advisory still holds, and it concerns those states where the disease burden is very high and which are very well publicized. We are also giving advice to countries where this burden is high to screen their passengers, or rather the passengers who are boarding planes to come in. We in Nigeria do not have a direct connection to any of these states except Italy. All other flights coming in from these countries will have to pass through some other third country because the airlines are non-Nigerian airlines or not airlines of the countries that have these diseases. So there's a level of filtration, if you like, because they will be tested at where they have a layover, and before they come to Nigeria, and by the time they come to Nigeria, they're also tested again. So that gives us a slight comfort in the sense that we have 2 possibilities of finding out people who are probably carriers of this virus. But otherwise, the advisory we have given is the general advisory against all diseases, particularly bacterial or viral diseases, personal hygiene, food hygiene, domestic hygiene, hand washing, sanitize your hands, carry alcohol-based gel, and keep yourself clean. And at the same time, do not touch your face or your eyes inadvertently if your hands are not clean, because it is believed that these are the portals through which these germs can enter the body. Those are the advisories we have given, and we hope that Nigerians comply with them.
All right. Honorable Minister, I have about 2 or 3 questions within our 2.5 minutes that we have left. I'd like to crave your indulgence if you can help tackle those questions quickly. And the first one is in relation to the weather in Nigeria. We understand that coronavirus does not really do well in warmer weather. Is it a good situation for Nigeria and our kind of weather?
Well, not much is known about this coronavirus. It is, as it was described immediately, as a novel virus, which means that it is new. The genome sequencing has been released. It is not among the, it belongs to a family of coronaviruses, but by itself, it was not very well known until now. So its behavior is being studied, and there's a lot of speculation and a lot of second guessing about what it can do or what cannot do, where it thrives or where it does not thrive. We do not, for example, know how long it can stay infectious if it is on the surface, because viruses have to be inside a cell in order to survive, and if they are on the surface, how long they thrive, we do not know. If we knew that, it would also be helpful, but it's good to also disinfect surfaces with, again, alcohol-based disinfectant, and generally keep clean. But the weather, as far as the weather is concerned, warm or cold, I am not aware of any scientific evidence that actually clearly states that it survives in warm weather or in cold weather. It normally will have to be inside a cell. That's what viruses do.
All right, let's wrap up now.
But I also think we should not be complacent.
Okay, great. So let's wrap up now, Honorable Minister.
When
you're talking about the behavior of the coronavirus, we understand that in some parts of China, some people who tested positive and then been treated, and they got well, are again been testing positive again. And we understand now in Nigeria, there's a growing concern about some of the kits like hand sanitizer and face mask. The prices have gone up. Is the federal government concerned about this situation? If you can help me put those 2 questions, answer those 2 questions in just about a few seconds that we have left.
Well, the government is concerned about prices going up, but you see, we operate a market economy, and those who are traders and suppliers are doing a brisk business trying to increase importation, and those who manufacture are also doing a brisk business scaling up manufacture of all these products. So it's not surprising that the price go up at the moment. The government makes sure that those agencies and organizations that need to have these materials have them. Those who want to have them on private level will soon find that the prices will drop when traders import more of these products. And I don't think that is something that government will be able to regulate. I'm talking about the prices of these commodities.
Honorable Minister for Health in Nigeria, Dr. Osagie Ehanire, many thanks for coming tonight. It was really an enlightenment platform for Nigerians to be well prepared and also stay alive and stay safe in the situation in the face of coronavirus. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and sparing time.
And I thank you for having me. Thank you.
It's indeed a pleasure having you also watching from wherever you may be watching. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm Seun Akinbaloye. Bye for now.